On today's episode of Unbinged, we're talking everything from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 1. Guys, this is not your grandpappy's Game of Thrones. We got new characters, new story, new everything. Honestly, just a whole different tone. We're going to discuss all that and more on an all episode of Unbinged starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, the show where we talk about these shows, movies, and news you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown. Joined as always, I got Jagger, Matt Kopfhamer, Sam Holt. We're going to get into everything from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but first, let's get the spoiler warning.
This is your one and only spoiler warning for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and probably everything Game of Thrones and the World of Ice and Fire related, so prepare yourself.
Sunshine Sammy, you told us in the chat and in previous shows and everything, you were extra excited for the show. You had like a sort of like come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Like, am I just really into tall, dumb dudes? So,
yeah, I think that the verdict is in. I watched the episode and that's how I feel. I think that's my thing. I'm took the 38 years to know what I'm into, and it's just tall, dumb guys, and it's just endearing. It's nice.
Bumping his head into shit. You're like, fuck yeah.
You're like, oh, bless your little heart. And as soon as he did that, I was like, oh, he's so cute.
Will you pick me up so I could kiss you on the forehead?
Yes, that's exactly what my thought process was. I was like, oh my God. I just want you to carry me, and I'll explain things to you, and you can just, not run into stuff. And when you do, I will kiss your boo-boo.
I'm just imagining Sam and like the little mini-me papoose like up in the front, just being like a baby Bjorn, just being carried.
Oh, that would be amazing. Just carrying me around.
Dunk's
so
big
sweet.
Enough to where she has like the little baby thing like at the front. It's like, she'll get swaddled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're saying the same thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need you to learn baby brand names.
I'm not around a lot of children. So.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so this was a totally different tone. This is a totally different tone. Jag, I know this has been different from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and usually you're like, yes, give me death, give me killing, give me all this stuff. But this was a totally different tone, almost to the point where it's like, it's kind of just a comedy. Like if the Bears get nominated for comedy awards, this is definitely going to be in that category. How did you feel about this show compared to the stuff that we've seen from this universe before?
Doing this pod, I hate how and love how much you guys know me. Like, Jag, you like depressing shit. How do you like the happiness? How's that affecting you?
Yeah, I mean, we have to ask you.
I smile.
I'm itchy and I'm uncomfortable. I don't like the happy stuff.
I get more concerned when we're watching something that has a happy ending. It's like, oh, Jag's not going to like this shit.
100%.
Everyone survived.
I actually fucking love it because, like you said, I was not excited. Look, Kopf, when you described what this was going to be, I'm like, no. I read the book with you guys, and I'm like, like I'm here for it. And I was like, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm doing work. But then when I actually watched this first episode, it's fucking hilarious, and it's like. Alfredo, you sold it better. It's a Knight's Tale. It feels like a Knight's Tale a lot. And it's just got the Game of Thrones filter, and that's not a bad thing at all. Like, it's a very much a tonal shift to where we're not getting fed the same meal over and over again. This is, like you say, this is dessert, but this is like good dessert. This is some high-class French shit.
This first episode felt a lot. I mean, it felt like a first date. It felt like a successful first date where like you go out, you don't really know much about each other, but you kind of see all the surface level stuff. You kind of catch their vibe, and you're like, okay, like I vibe with you. Let's do this again, maybe next Sunday night, and just keep coming back for more episodes because they can't give us everything. I'm really enjoying this so far. Kopf, this is the moment of truth. As someone who just all these books are like basically your reading material for the bathroom. Are you feeling okay? Like did this tickle your fancy?
This first episode was fantastic. They stuck really close to the story and the material. What they expanded upon made sense. Like the scene with Lionel Baratheon and him talking about Dunk's insecurities. Like that all made sense to me. I thought the production was incredible. Like seeing. What surprised me the most was actually the puppet show. Because in the book, it's described kind of like hand puppets, so it's a little bit smaller scale. And then we get the tent, and it's to get this huge dragon, and like they got the full body puppets. I was like, damn, that's cool as hell. So I love the tonal shift because this is, especially the novellas, they're a little bit more farcical. Just by nature, because we're not really dealing with kings and queens and who's on the Iron Throne and what's the existential threat of the White Walkers. Like, no, this is a very small scale story of a literal like one step above a peasant hedge knight and his plucky little squire. So I'm really, really happy with how this first episode came out, and I am very excited for the rest of the season because I know it's going to happen, and I'm very, very, very excited to see it on screen.
Me too. And it feels like Star Wars when they get like, wow, man, there was no Skywalkers and I enjoyed this. You know, that's kind of how it feels like, but with like dragons and like, of course, I don't want to spoil like who Egg is or anything like that. You know, obviously when you go to these tournaments, there will be royalty, but it's like you said, it's not like serious. And most of the time it's like, here's my fourth cousin. It's not actually like a nigga making decisions, you know, so.
Yeah, like we saw with the Fossaway cousins, you know, he's like, oh, my cousin the knight is a part of the senior branch. I'm part of the minor branch. He loves to remind me. So it's that shit over and over again. And that's where, like with lords and lands and titles and all that, just gets sticky and messy because you have all these different branches. And then you have somebody like Dunk who's like, I don't know who my parents are. I was born in Flea Bottom, and like by some miracle I made it to this age, and I'm tall and strong, and I want to hit somebody because I need money.
I'm so glad I read the book with you guys too, because having that kind of color going into the show, I think makes me really, really excited for where they take this visually as a season and how far they get into the material before they're like, cut, now you get season 2.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen this type of character before. Like, it's not something new that, you know, like this lone wolf and cubs type situation. Like, we've seen it with Mandalorian. I mean, even like The Witcher. And like, we've seen other stuff like this where, yeah, it's not anything new. It's a common trope, but there's something different. And I think a lot of that is because of the tone that they set. There was a lot of things, mainly from the first, I want to say like first 5 minutes, that I think set the tone for not only the episode, but for this show and why it's different and separating it from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, which honestly, just off of this first episode, I think I'm going to enjoy this more than House of the Dragon, if I'm going to be real. Like that's where I'm at personally. What were some of the things early on? I have a whole list, like a litany of things that were just fantastic early on that set the tone. What were some of the things for you guys? Sam, what was the thing for you that like really set us off on the different foot?
I think his first initial interaction with Egg I really enjoyed because I think the scale and the difference between the two characters, even in the book, and is translating so well onto the show in that Egg is just so, I mean, to use your word, Kopf, he's so plucky. He's so just a kid that just says the first thing off the top of his head, whether it's a good or bad thing. And Dunk is just, you know, a little bit slower. So he's just like, you can't say shit like that to me. And that's like, without saying anything else.
In the ear.
Yeah, he's going to get a clout in the ear. I mean, we're going to take a drink every time he says clout in the ear, because in the book he says it a lot. But I mean, I think that initial interaction just got me excited because, again, reading the book and knowing what that relationship is, seeing it on screen felt really good, and it worked out really well. I really like the little boy actor. He's so good.
What about you guys? What else? What else did we get from this opener that totally set the tone for you?
Can I go
that
next?
It doesn't take. Go ahead.
Sorry. So as soon as I heard the Game of Thrones theme, I rolled my eyes. I was like, God
damn
it, they're doing it again.
Thank you.
And then it immediately cuts to him shitting, and I laughed my ass off. I was like, this is perfect. This is a chef's kiss scene, because I was so upset when I heard that the theme, and I was like, damn it, we're just going to get a rerun of the same story. That's where I was like doubting. And then we immediately cut to him shitting against the tree, and I was like, okay, we're in for something special now.
For me,
I think that was the moment. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jack, go.
Oh, for me, it was how it immediately didn't take itself seriously. It was actually before that. It's like, what is it? Don't what the
Stop raping, sir.
Stop raping, sir. Like that right there.
City Watch.
Yeah. Like that, like cracked me up, dude. It's like because like you said, Kopf, like with the music with the eye roll. I think if it would have tried to make itself like the Mandalorian tone, because like Mandalorian. When it took itself seriously, it was good, actually. And then it had the opposite problem when it stopped. But doing that with Game of Thrones is, like, different. We've had so much doom and gloom and, you know, my father, some Draco Malfoy shit, that, like, having this opposite is what I'd like to call contrast. And if you're going to have a universe this big, that contrast is nice. And this is shining through. Because, like you said, I don't know how this can really disappoint me. from the book as well. It's there's not that level of disappointment that like House of the Dragon can have. And I don't mean that as far as like this show isn't as ambitious, but you get the constant, well, I need some of you fuckers to fight because I've been watching you bicker for 8 episodes. We don't have that here. And I feel like if anything, the fighting is more realistic because like, as we know in the book, these motherfuckers are just down to clown. They're drunk. They're ready to go at any moment.
Yeah, bringing it back to the Fossaway cousins, he was like, yeah, if you had gone up against my cousin, we would try to break your knee or your hand, so that way you have an advantage in the lists if you guys fought each other. So it's that realism of like, this is shit they would do for real before a tournament because they want to win. They want to get that gold. They want to get that glory. So yeah, if you can get somebody in the yard and fuck them up, it's like boxers, right? If they get into a sparring partner and then they knock out their sparring partner trying to fuck them up before a fight.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of experience with that, do you have?
No. Just in video games.
Got it. Yeah, this it set the tone so early, man. Like just the "stop raping, sir" was just like the line that like made me stop and laugh, and I had to like pause it to compose myself. And the shitting like during the Game of Thrones music, and I think the way it like went after that was where we got this totally different score behind everything. It was almost like a classic Western type theme where it's like it makes Dunk feel a little bit like the cowboy that you're rooting for. His intentions are noble. I think that's something that Game of Thrones hasn't had in a minute. Like the last time we had a noble character that you were rooting for was it Jon Snow? Was it Daenerys? Like to an extent until a moment, right? Like we don't have that with House of the Dragon. You're kind of like, I hope everyone loses.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon, like you guys are
sucks
kind of
House of
all
the Dragon.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Damon.
I feel
but
bad
he
for
is
the
a shit,
baker who's
so.
just like, please don't burn my fucking house down. We like, you niggas like fucking like talk in a room. You just getting dragons.
House of the Dragons is basically keeping up with the Kardashians with dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what happens when you give angry people who have some incestuous, psychotic tendencies weapons of mass destruction, which, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy, but it's kind of nice to see the regular people.
Messy white
Not
people.
no
Got
incest,
it.
some incest.
This is a sprinkle. It's a touch.
Dash. All right, we're going to keep talking more about this show, the characters, everything that went down in this. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, you got a bunch of ways you can enjoy Unbinged. First, it's going to be right here on YouTube. So if you're watching, take a moment to like this video, comment down below with your thoughts on the episode. And guys, if you're listening over on Apple or Spotify, those 5-star reviews keep coming in, and it has been such a big help for us. Keep doing that as an independent podcast that allows us to grow, do new things, cover more shows, do new topics. I mean, maybe one day, guys, we're all going to be sitting in a studio talking together and making this a nice big production. Who knows? That's going to be all up to our audience and how much you guys can help us here. So please make sure you're subscribed. Sunday, we're going to be bringing you a Night of the Seven Kingdoms every week. Tuesday, trending headlines. Wednesday, Fallout. Thursday, The Pit. And then 28 years later, The Bone Temple. We just put that review up. That's for our premium bingers over on YouTube. We're going to be making a catalog of all kinds of premium content for you guys on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. So that way we can give you more. Not different, but more unbinged for all of you. All right, guys, Sir Duncan the Tall this is our hero. This is our hero that we're rooting for. This is our hero that we care about. He is a hedge knight, and it is explained in this. A hedge knight is like a knight, but sadder because they sleep in the hedges.
The dialogue is so good in here.
It really is. It really is. I do have this question, and maybe I think we need to navigate this carefully. We are made to believe that the knighting of Sir Dunk did not actually happen. Yeah, right. Like that's what we are made to believe in here. Kopf, how do you feel like they are handling that so far?
Same way it went in the book. Like he is lying about being knighted, and so he is just, again, it's a survival thing. It weighs on him from like a guilt standpoint because it's like a true knight wouldn't lie about being a knight, but what option does he have at this point? Like we saw in the beginning of the episode where he's like, I could go to Lannisport or King's Landing, try to be a knight. Like there's no guarantee that he has any path forward. So he's hoping that if he can at least make this lie stick and win some glory at Ashford, then he can actually present himself as a true knight in a lord's service. So I think they're doing a great job. It's the same way that they presented it in the book, as far as I can tell. So I'm cool with it.
The way that it was even talked about, did I catch this line correctly? Where the I guess the barmaid that he's speaking to earlier in the episode says, "I never knew a jouster to change the price of eggs," where it's kind of like you might see being a knight as something that's important and brings value to the realm, but it really doesn't matter to us. Like it's almost like a "you might need to be more" type of speech. Like it felt a little like superhero-y, right? Like with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, she's talking more of like tourneys, and she's like like everyone gets excited about these tournaments, but that shit doesn't really affect us, the small folk. Like our lives still go on. This is for the lords and ladies and their pomp and circumstances, bread and circuses, and so this innkeeper's like that shit doesn't matter to people like me, other than I get more travelers to my inn. Is what she's essentially saying.
Well, yeah. What I'm getting at is that it was trying to show him that being a knight isn't just the pomp and circumstance, right? It's that like you need to be more than that. Like if you're going to take on this persona, this title, you have to be more than just the guy that's winning tournaments.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like I said, you're both all right. Is what I was going to get at. It's like like. We don't care about you being a knight just because, there's a lot of fucking knights out here. You're a hedge knight, You're a dude with a sword who might be able to fight, maybe not. And this is a common theme without Game of Thrones. We just get to see it more as a microscopic, intimate level to where no one cares who's on the Iron Throne because their problems are a lot more immediate. I mean, we all live in a modern society where we see that within our own worlds all the time. It's like, man, I don't care what's going on in this country so much because my eggs are like, you remember when eggs were like gold for a while there for a minute? Like that's like, I felt like that hit home. Whoever wrote that 2 years ago for sure. They're like, why am I paying $6 for a dozen eggs? It's like,
you got them for $6? God, it was like $12 eggs.
Yeah, well, I don't live in California, Sam.
Yeah,
so.
California eggs were expensive.
Yep.
California eggs and Arkansas eggs ain't the same.
It ain't the same, player. I bought farm fresh eggs the other day delivered to my house. 3 packs of 18 for $12.
Oh my God.
All of that? 3 packs of 18 for just $12.
I have a friend with a farm. I got a friend with a farm.
Damn.
That's
all right.
Arkansas.
Hook it up. We got to talk about that after the show. Sam, so going through this, you kind of see that like being a hedge knight is really looked down upon, and Dunk's really trying to make it something like bigger and better than it is, and he's trying to make himself bigger and better than what it is. He gets this harsh reality where he's trying to talk to what's our guy's name again? Sir Manfred
Dundarian.
Yeah, where Sir Manfred basically is like, we took 800 swords into battle. Who cares about a wound? Like, there's that like moment where Dunk's kind of like, oh, okay. At least for me as the viewer, buddy. Yeah, like he kind of keeps getting kicked down over and over and over. Like, you want to be the knight, and no one really cares about knights as much as you think. But for him, that's such a step up. How did that scene work for you?
I think that all of these little moments, that one especially too, that one was so sad for poor Dunk. But I think that it just shows that the relationship that he had with his knight that he was squire to was so it imprinted so much on him in terms of what it meant to be honorable, what it meant to be a knight, and he wants to lead by the example that was set for him. And I think it's just so aspirational and so goal-oriented that he has that when he's walking in with all these lovely dreams and just a head in the clouds, and then the reality just keeps kicking him down, he's going to end up having to have that moment where he has to rise above what everyone's saying about him to prove himself. Like, nothing's going to get handed to him. And that, I feel like that's going to be consistent until he does do some sort of feat or shows to people that he is able to, be bigger than what people expect of him, which is crazy because he's the biggest of anybody.
Which I think is poignant during the scene where he's talking to Lionel Baratheon, and he's like, "Look, you're the guy with the title, the lands, the arm. Like, you have everything going for you. I can't afford to ransom my own horseback if I lose once." Like, that's the dichotomy between these high lords with all the titles and money versus like Dunk is just a dude. He's a big dude. He's a strong dude. But at the end of the day, he is one step above being. He's essentially homeless. And so he has literally every disadvantage to his name. and can he overcome that? And I think that's what's really fun about this story, is seeing that like uphill battle and seeing him persevere, hopefully.
To use a football jargon, he's a jag, just a guy, you know. And he's showing up for training camp, hoping to make a roster.
Yeah.
As a walk-on.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like if this was Hard Knocks, they would absolutely be following his storyline, and then when he gets cut, you're like, I hope that
Saw
guy.
that coming.
I really hope.
I really
hope
liked
another
him,
team
you
picks
know.
him
I
up.
really like that guy. You mentioned Sir Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm. Let's talk a little bit about him, because I think his character, when he showed up, he kind of stole the show. He's
so
just a
good.
very charismatic character. The actor did a phenomenal job. Being in this tent and going, like, having the party. Dunk basically just turns into Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers, where he's just like eating everything he can, and then Lionel's like, "Hey, you like dancing?" He's like, "Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this." There's a few moments there, like you mentioned, Dunk being just a dude, but there's a few moments in that party where it's like you can really see his mindset. Where first one is Lionel telling him, "Is that why you slouch?" Right? Because he asked him, he's like, "Do tall men get hit more?" And he's just like, "I believe it if you're telling me that's the truth." And he's like, "Is that why you slouch?" And he's just like, "No, I come from a place where you learn it's better to kind of go unnoticed." And he's just like, he's never even accepted who he is, to the point where I love the literal allegory of him having to step on Lionel Baratheon's toes on the dance floor, because he's lived his whole life not trying to step on anyone's toes, not trying to be noticed, not trying to cause a scene or be a fuss. And then he goes from that to like, I'm wearing your crown, getting drunk and hanging out with this man who would never even look my direction if I wasn't so tall. He learns to embrace himself. It was such a good moment.
And speaking of that, that's what directly leads into him accepting and coming up with the moniker Sir Duncan the Tall. He's finally accepting who he is and trying to grow into that. So I thought that was a beautifully well set up, because in the book he just introduces himself as like Sir Duncan the Tall like immediately. So I really like this change where it gives a little bit more context of where he came up with that, and it speaks, like you said, to his mindset of he came from Flea Bottom. He was a beggar. Like, he had to learn how to not stand out in a crowd, or else that's how you get picked out by, like, you know, thieves and muggers and the City Watch. So seeing him finally embrace, like, no, I am different. Maybe I can use that to my advantage. I thought that was really well done.
And it's very, I relate to getting places doing that, because like Alfredo, you've been to events. For me, that's what I'm like, the party happy guy that's like, hey, you know, like, here's how I network, baby, we're all gonna get trashed, like, that's so
Shots.
like learning that lesson is
Dude, this it was such a good moment to then go back to like the stark contrast of he leaves that tent, runs into Sir Manfred, and he's just like, I don't give a fuck who you are. And it's just like a right snap back to reality. Like, you know, he gets that moment. We don't have much we can say about Egg, but Sam, I know this character sort of spoke to you. You really enjoyed our character Egg. We can't give away much, but like, what is it about Egg that kind of draws you to him every time he's there on screen?
I think that it's just his quickness with words, which, I mean, it's so easy to be quick when you're talking next to Dunk, because he's not quick with his words. I just think that his little...
Sam just keeps shitting on Dunk. Like,
I'm not!
You just love to remind us that he's stupid.
But it's adorable!
It's a cute
No,
one.
okay.
Okay, big idiots, okay, that are watching this right now, just please, in the comments, let Sam know if you're single. Just large,
Big
dumb
idiots.
motherfuckers, leave a comment down below. Thanks.
if your favorite
Do
word
you-
is huh, like,
Do you eat crayons? You're perfect for Sam.
Oh my god. Anyways, no, I think what sealed the deal for me loving Egg and his character, and what we're going to see with him and Dunk, is when he pops up in his campsite and he's just like, what are you even doing here? And he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to do the job that I want to do, and you're going to like it, right? And he's just like, well, that was all so helpful. I guess you can stay. Like, that whole dynamic between the two of them, of Egg seeing Dunk, I think he sees him for what he could be, and that's why he just is going to stay with him constantly and be there right by his side. So to me, it's just that endearingness of that dynamic of him wanting to be there for Dunk as well. I think that means a lot, because I think as a kid, he's also seeing what his capabilities are more so than what Dunk even sees for himself.
Egg is playing like chess, and Dunk doesn't even know they're playing a game. Like, that's the difference.
Ugh,
You
big dumb
sunk my
idiots.
battleship.
We're playing a game.
Yeah, he's just the Will Poulter meme. He's like, wait, you guys are playing a game?
Yeah. So cute.
I just love how I love how they introduce Egg, and like he's this little stable boy, but like, man, he is capable. Like, he set up camp, he's cooking dinner, like he took care of the horses, like he cleaned the mail. Like he's not only smart and vivacious, but he's also like he can actually do shit. And so this is going to be a boon for Dunk, because now you have somebody that's not only in your corner helping you, but probably knows a little bit more than you, because I don't know, he's been doing this for somebody else. And so I think that's just going to help Dunk with his journey forward.
He's been in society more than what Dunk has. So he has the experience, too, of, understanding the lists and understanding who different knights are. And, he asks, who do you even know? And Dunk and Egg just
All the
knows
good knights.
everything. Yeah, he knows everything he's supposed to know. So he's going to, I feel like, learn a lot from Egg, whether he is ready to learn from a kid or not.
There's something so powerful with characters like this, because it's the found family thing, right? And it's like they're both trying to prove themselves in different ways, like ways that we don't quite know or understand just yet. But there is something that becomes so just incredibly relatable when you're watching that, right? Like people that just have common goals, common interests that find each other. Like that's this podcast. Like that's what we did, right? I love their relationship right now. I know there's gonna be more we can talk about later in like future episodes. But guys, can I just say that this like little tournament looks so much fucking fun? We need to go to a Renaissance fair. You saw them like
yeah.
Disney
I
World
went to
ass
one-
turkey legs, and
I went to one a month
the
ago.
giant
It's so much
dragon.
fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're very
so
fun.
much fun.
Did you do the
jousting
slap and
in
pour?
real life? No, I missed out on that.
What's
the
the
wenches were
slap and
busy
pour?
with the wenches.
Oh, Sam,
The
you're
beer
in for a treat.
wenches.
Cough, can you explain
It's
it?
great. We'll get demonetized.
What? No, I'm
Kidding. No.
We can
Wait,
fix it.
you
So
want to
beer
talk about
wenches-
it?
Dog, yeah.
Beer wenches, basically, they slap you and then they pour a beer down your throat. So it's
What's
fun.
wrong with
It's cool.
that? That's just
Yeah,
good
what is-
fun.
Kidding. It was a yoke. Anyway, I have a question for you guys. What did you guys think about the use of flashbacks?
I was
in
like,
the
that's
episode?
over. We're done with that
Yeah.
conversation.
Move on.
As a nerd,
He's
it was
getting
beautiful.
uncomfy.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful editing. Just to have quick.
Yes,
I love
the
the
quick-
way the
the quick
flashbacks
cuts.
handed, because it was quick. It didn't feel like I was detracting for the main plot line, but I got context right away. Like the film nerd in me loved the use of that. Thank you for that question, Koff.
Yes, thank you. My favorite part was when I was like, "You never hit me more than you need to." And just the quick cuts like slapping 6 times.
I love the way he's just like,
That was so funny.
and the spitting. He's just like, I want to be a knight just as you are. There's so much spitting in this. Like,
Dude, the one Stewart when he's just and spitting loogies everywhere. I was like, "What the hell is happening?"
So
I'm
gross.
glad you did it on the pod. I'm really glad you did it into the microphone here.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Sound.
Yeah. That was a tough moment to get through. Like, Jesus Christ, please stop doing that.
Awful.
Guys, please don't give us a 1-star review because of that. Please don't do that.
Do it. I
My
dare
wife
you.
could not stand it when that was happening. It's just fucking disgusting. Cough, I know that if you don't get to talk about some book shit or some lore shit, you're gonna fucking explode.
Implode?
So this is the moment towards the end of the pod where, hey, if you don't want to know anything about like previous lore, we're not gonna give away spoilers of anything going forward, but previous lore that Cough, our lore master for this, has deemed relevant to the story, you get like 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes.
freestyle.
Okay.
You didn't-
Freestyle.
No.
Go.
Cool. Okay, so this show is currently set about 100 years before Game of Thrones, so we're looking around like year 200 after Aegon's conquest, right? So the current king is named Daeron II. He has a bunch of kids. Like, we're cool. The throne is secure. However, there is a threat on the horizon. 15 years previously, give or take, 10, 15 years before, there was a rebellion called the Blackfire Rebellion, which stemmed from Aegon IV, King Aegon IV, also known as the Unworthy, who had a bunch of bastards, both great and small. So he had sex with great, ladies of noble houses and
Great
like
ladies.
peasants, all of that, right? So he had a bunch of bastards, like 30, 40, 50
Slanging it.
kids. On his deathbed, he goes, you know what? All of those bastards are legitimate. They're all my actual like children. So that created a divide within House Targaryen, because now you have these bastards who are like, I have a claim to the throne. One of them, Daemon Blackfire, was given the sword Blackfire, which was
30
Aegon the
seconds
First, like sword of conquest, and up until that point had been passed down father to son, like heir to the throne kind of thing. So then, because of that, rebellion breaks out, civil war breaks out. Daemon ends up dying on the battlefield because Bloodraven, another great bastard, kills him.
10 seconds.
And then, oh god damn it! So right now, the realm is secure,
He's
but there's
crumbling under pressure.
rebellion
You got it,
possibly
buddy. I believe in
fomenting on the horizon. And there we go. That's context. Damn it!
That's time. That's
I
time.
rushed.
Do you feel better?
There's more.
Bro, you gave us a whole book.
No, there's more. There's more.
He
I'm
actually
sure there
didn't, dog.
fucking is.
I've read the book that he's going through. He actually didn't at all. It's like not even.
I gave you like this much out of like this
Yeah.
much context.
Them Targaryens. And there's one thing about them: they fuck.
They messy.
They're messy.
But anyway,
All right.
names you need to remember going forward: Bloodraven,
Dunk.
who we meet in Game
Oh.
of Thrones. Yeah, Bloodraven, Bittersteel, and then you got King Daeron, and then he has 4 sons: Baelor Breakspear, Aerys, Rhaegal, and Maekar. Baelor and Maekar are important. Remember those names.
We will not be putting that in the description, but I'm proud of everybody who stayed this long. And
If you have
went
questions,
through.
put them
We
in the
love you,
comments. I'll
Kopf.
answer.
Thank you for being a lore master. I respect it.
Thanks for being you, Kopf.
Yeah.
Don't thank
fuck
me.
that.
Thank my brain for being how it is.
Autism.
People don't know how lucky we are that we
It's a
get to just
gift.
like, if I have a random question, I was reading the book and I just get to text Kopf and I'm like, can you explain this? And then you just get like the
wall of
bubbles
text.
for like 2 minutes and then this paragraph. It's nice.
Kopf, we'll do this. We'll do this. When we start the Discord, you are the people's champion. We're just gonna let you just go off. We're just it's gonna be like putting a kid in like a sensory room and just let you just go play with all the toys. You'll be safe in there. We can stop watching you for a minute. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it for this episode, man. Not much happened in this episode, but like the tone was set beautifully. Really looking forward to the next episode, getting into the tournament and what else we're gonna see with Dunk and Egg and all their adventures. If you have been watching all the way through, please take a second. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, do all the things that YouTube loves. If you're listening over on Apple or Spotify, leave that 5-star review. It means the world to us. Let us know what you enjoyed from this episode. And guys, we will be back again next Sunday with episode 2 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. For myself, for Jag, for Sam, for Kopf. We'll see you next time. Adios.